Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels, and the Fibonacci's. It is Sunday, the 4th of April. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the day after yesterday's sell-off. Going to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 57,911 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 58,950. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from 58,500 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 59,000 to cap any upside. Event of an extended rally, we've got the March swing high 61,699 to cap any upside. Second major resistance level, so it's at 68.80. Failure to move through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level at 55,981 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Bitcoin still clear of sub 55 and the second major support level at 54,942. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting a pullback through the morning, so keep an eye on that. On the EMA is also a bearish indicator with the 50 closing in on the 100 and the 200, suggesting further downside ahead. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 57,911 and back through to 58,500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, it's a mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 2050 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2099. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through 2050 levels. That pivot level will be key today. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and Saturday's high at 2139.33 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ethereum test resistance at 2200 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2189. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1960 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 1900s. Second major support level at 1910 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we have a slight narrowing of the bearish histogram this morning. Nothing suggestive of a bullish day ahead, so we need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 has closed in marginally on the 100 and the 200. It's still a bullish indicator, but suggestive of some possible downside. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot 2050 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, positive start to the day after an early slide. Going to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 203 to bring the first major resistance level at 210 into play. We need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from 205 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin test resistance at 230 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 225. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the 23.6% fib at 195 and the first major support level at 188 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 180s. Second major support level at 181 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we have a slight narrowing of the bearish histogram at the start of the day, but nothing suggestive of a bullish day ahead, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, the 50s also closed in on the 100 and the 200, which suggests some downside, but remains a bullish indicator. Key through the early part of the day, therefore, is to move through the pivot at 203 and back through to 205s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, slightly positive start to the day after an early pullback. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.5984 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 0.6230. We need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.61 levels on the day. So barring an extended rally on the day, that first major resistance level should cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, we've got the second major resistance level at 0.6664 to cap any upside. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.5550 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer well clear of sub 0.5s. We've got the 23.6% fib at 0.5320 and the second major support level at 0.5304 to limit any downside on the day. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, which is in trend with the broader market, so nothing conclusive there as yet. On the EMAs, 50 has narrowed in on the 100 and the 200, suggesting some further downside through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 0.5984 and back through to 0.61 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.